shows on back like from in the 1940s till the 60s, and he kind of was like he started charades, that whole game and everything. He put all the symbols. Yeah, he created all that. So he had people like Dick Van Dyke on his show, and so he gave like Lucille Ball her start. So then my mom was kind of an actress. Like she did a lot of theater, and she did some like silly sci-fi movies. My sister, she's 8 years older than me. She just turned 25, and she does a ton of theater, and she's just breaking into television as well. And so I always kind of had it in my family. Like my sister did a ton of musical theater growing up, and then I started out in that when I was really young. But then when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I decided that I wanted to go into television and film. And so there was like an open call for some movie when I was like, I think almost 7 years old. And I found this acting coach online, and I went to him, and he referred me to his girlfriend, who was a big manager at the time. She had Dakota Fanning and other girls. And so I had a meeting with her, and she took me on. And I started out with that, and I basically just knew that I really loved being in front of the camera. Even though like I still do theater really often whenever I get a chance, but I think like my favorite is being in front of the camera. So I started auditioning when I was about 7 years old, and I started booking roles around that time too. And I've been fortunate enough to be working ever since.
Okay, so what was your first project that you worked on?
The first real show that I did, I had like 3 lines in the Garfield movie when I was 7 years old. But the first like real role that I did, I played Little Girl God on this TV show called Joan of Arcadia that was starring Amber Tamblyn. She's been in like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. You might have seen her in that, and a ton of stuff. So I played God on that when I was 7 years old, and it was supposed to just be 1 episode. I think it was either the first or second. I think it was the second episode of the entire series. But I guess they responded to this character, and people loved seeing God in like really silly forms. You know, like as a really cute guy, or as a 7-year-old girl, or as an old woman. So my character ended up coming back throughout the 2 seasons that the show was on the air. So that's where I really got my start. And the director of that I worked with again when I was older on Ugly Betty, and it's really wonderful when you meet someone that you connect with, and they help you get your foot in the door into other shows. Like with Ugly Betty, I was supposed to be on just for 1 episode, but they brought my character back for 3 episodes.
That's good.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I actually ended up working with Amber Tamblyn again a couple of years ago on this pilot for CBS that didn't end up going, but it was really fun because I hadn't seen her since I was like 9 years old, and then I was 14 or 15, and she was like, oh my goodness, she grew up.
So you were on like other Disney Channel shows that like That's a Raven and Hannah Montana. What was it like working on those sets?
Well, my first Disney show that I ever did was That's a Raven, and I was 8 years old, and at the time it was like my favorite show on TV because it was such a huge hit. Everyone loved That's a Raven. So I was just thrilled when I got the audition, because the thing is that I used to get cast just in adult shows that like none of my friends could watch. I always did like the dramas or the kind of inappropriate comedies. And so it was really fun when I got to be Sierra on That's a Raven, because finally all of my friends at school, like in 2nd and 3rd grade, could go and watch the show. So being on that set, That's a Raven was a ton of fun, just mostly because I was such a big fan of the show. So it was getting to be in the Baxter's like living room, and kind of like I knew where everything was from watching it. And I got to do 2 episodes of that, which was a ton of fun. I loved working with Raven and Annalise and everyone on the show. They were really great. Kyle Massey and I got along really well. So that was just a really fun experience, because when you're on a kids show, everyone's the set energy is just really fun, and everyone's cracking jokes all the time. And then I got to do Hannah Montana after that, and that was, just about as big as a hit as it got.
Yeah.
And getting to work with Miley was so cool. She was actually like 14 or 15 when I was on the show, and she was so nice, which was like really cool because I idolized her when I was younger, so it was really cool to get to work with her. And Billy Ray was so sweet. The whole cast and crew, they were really welcoming. and that was fun because Joey Fatone was in that episode.
Oh, I remember that.
And yeah, so I mean, I have older siblings who loved NSYNC, so it was like pretty cool to get to work with one of the members of NSYNC. And then from there, I did Shake It Up.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I remember.
I played Savannah, who was Deuce's girlfriend, who was like the gold digger. And that was so much fun because I had known Bella like for years before that, just from auditioning, because when you're kind of around the same age as someone, you'll always like see them at auditions, even though I think I'm 2 years older than Bella. But we were kind of friends just through auditioning, so I took the role on Shake It Up, and before the series started airing, so like none of the people on the show really knew if it was going to be a big hit or not. It was really cool being in there in the preliminary stages.
Yeah.
It was really fun because I was like the same age-ish as everyone, and I worked with Buddy was in my episode, Buddy Handelson, who's now on the show on Nick.
Wendell and Vinny?
Yeah. And he was so cool. He was really sweet. He was just psyched because that was one of his first roles, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so excited. They're bringing me back." So, and it's cool to see where he is now. And Shake It Up was like a really fun set to be on because we all did school together, and I became really good friends with Bella and Zendaya, and we've kept in touch ever since. And you know, I'm so happy for everything that's going well for them. And then the most recent Disney show I did was Good Luck Charlie. And I actually just finished, like last month, I filmed another episode of that. And that was one of my favorite Disney sets to be on because they've been on the air for, you know, so long. I think they're just finishing their 4th season.
Yes.
And usually when you go to a show that's been on the air for a while, everyone kind of just does their own thing, and they have kind of, you know, their whole routine that they're used to. And when you're a guest star, you're kind of on the outside a lot of the time. But the best thing about the Good Luck Charlie set was that, like, the first day I was there, I had lunch with basically the entire cast. They were so welcoming. Bridget is one of the sweetest girls I've ever worked with. We went to the commissary together. We had lunch, like, every day with the cast. I became really good friends with Kevin, who plays Victor on the show. We still talk all the time. And so, that's, like, one of my favorite sets to be on. And Lee, the woman who plays the mom on the show, is, like, one of the funniest, nicest people ever. And it was really fun to get to go back just last month because I hadn't seen them in like a year. And they're all really sad that the show is ending because they have such a good vibe on set.
Yeah.
That it's a shame. I know Lee really wants the show to keep going. She keeps tweeting about it. It's really cute.
So you're working on a new NBC comedy. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, definitely. In a month, I'm moving to New York to film a new comedy for NBC called The Henrys. It's a tentative title. I'm not sure if it will stay. But basically what it is that it's Michael J. Fox's new show. And he's coming back to TV, which is so great, and everyone's really excited for it. And the plot of the show is that we're incorporating the fact that Michael has Parkinson's into the show because, you know, we're not hiding it or denying it or anything. So he's playing a newscaster who had to retire 5 years ago because of his disease of Parkinson's. And so in the pilot episode, it's 5 years after he's left, and he's ready to come back to work because he's found like the right mix of medicines that works for him, so he's well enough to come and be on TV again. So it's really paralleling his real life because he had to leave Spin City, and now he's back on the air, you know, ready to have a series again. And so I play his daughter, Eve, and it's really cool because the kids in the show are loosely based off of his kids in real life.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, so it's really cool. Like, the older brother on the show is based off of Michael's son, and they have, like, similar life happenings, like going to college and dropping out and doing a startup company. And so my character is based on, he has twin girls my age, and he's kind of morphed them into one character with a little bit of their younger daughter infused in the character as well. And so it was cool because I got to meet his family on set, and I hope I'm doing them justice, but I'm not exactly sure if I have it down completely. But, you know, it's just a loose representation. But basically, the show, Betsy Brandt is in it, and she's on Breaking Bad. We have Katie Finneran, who is all over Broadway, so that's really fun for me because I love musical theater, so I'm excited to, you know, get to know Katie better. and it's basically just Michael coming back to work and dealing with having Parkinson's and and trying to support his family, and we're all like really wacky. My character is she's kind of like a slacker in school. She's really smart, but she just doesn't apply herself, and she'll basically do anything it takes to not have to do work to get whatever she has to do done. And so it's actually not very much like me, because I'm like a big overachiever. Like I apply myself, I think, too much in school. So it's kind of fun to get to be someone so different from myself.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll start airing in September, and I'm moving in a month. We start filming in June, and it'll, we got picked up for 22 episodes for our first season before we even filmed the pilot.
Wow.
So it's truly really exciting. I'm just so honored to be a part of the project, and I'm really excited because, even though it's a sensitive subject matter, we're being lighthearted about it. It's a comedy. It's really funny. We have the best team of writers. The director was the same director that I worked with on Fired Up and Easy A, of the pilot at least, Will Gluck, and he's one of the co-creators, and he's one of the funniest guys I've ever had the chance to work with. So we have like a great vibe on set. It's really exciting.
That's great. So do you have any other upcoming projects?
Right now, that's pretty much taking up all my time because I'm just finishing high school right now. I'm a senior, so I'm in homeschooling just for this last semester so that I can get all my work done before I have to move. So right now I'm just really focusing on getting ready before I move in May. And it's kind of funny because I still get like emails from my agents every once in a while, like sending me out on an audition. And I'm like, guys, I'm not available. Like, I'm filming May through December. I can't go on an audition for something that's filming this summer, So it's kind of putting other things on hold, but I'm not complaining because this is like my dream job.
So do you have any social networking accounts?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, at Juliette Goglia, just my name. And then I have a YouTube, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. I'll email you if this is wrong. But it's Juliette Goglia Official, I want to say. I'll check that for you. And then I'm on Instagram as Juliette Goglia, so it's pretty straightforward.
Great. Thanks so much for speaking with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Talk to you later.